Chinese President Xi Jinping thinks any visit by the speaker is a direct attack on him. And it's not us saying that. Former senior State Department official Susan Shirk told the New York Times the risk is that the visit by Speaker Pelosi will be perceived by Xi himself as a humiliation of his leadership, and that he takes some rash action to then show his strength. Better, in her words, to postpone rather than risk war. That said, a growing number of people within the GOP now support the trip, including Newt Gingrich, Mike Pompeo, Senator Ben Sasse, Mark Esper, and John Bolton. John Bolton, former National Security Advisor under President Trump, ambassador to the United Nations, joins us now. Boy, if you want to know an upside-down world, you and Nancy Pelosi are on the same side of a foreign policy issue.
Well, look, she has a large number of Taiwanese Americans in her congressional district. She's been on this issue for 30 years as a defender of Taiwan. So she's serious about it. And more importantly, she's right about it. You know, the whole idea that we're worried about Chinese rhetoric shows how misplaced our policy is. This is a question of how America conducts its own foreign policy. And thank you very much to Xi Jinping. We'll conduct it the way we want to conduct it. I think this is a scenario, it sounds like kind of a made-up drama, but it's something that countries along the Indo-Pacific periphery of China are going to watch very carefully. Can we send a constitutionally denominated official to China, or are we going to back down because Xi Jinping is shaking his fist?
That really is the question. This from the Chinese state media. If the U.S. persists, the Chinese military will by no means sit idly by and will take strong measures to thwart any external interference and separatist attempts, China's defense ministry said on Pelosi's potential Taiwan trip. And we come back to this idea. Why would President Biden and his White House now suddenly sort of back down so quickly to the Chinese? Are we getting something in return for this?
Well, I don't see anything. I mean, you can speculate about what the reasons are. My speculation is that the climate change theology that dominates the Biden administration requires finding ways to negotiate with China on things like carbon emissions. Now, I think this is a complete waste of time, since I think China is fully prepared to agree to almost anything and then ignore it. But I do think there's some feeling in the background here that we don't want to do anything that could disrupt those all-important negotiations, all important to the Biden administration. But in the rest of the world, what they really care about is, can the United States conduct its own foreign policy, or do we need China's permission? This dispute between Taiwan and China is pretty fundamental. And we have made it plain, I think, over the years, we expect, whatever the resolution is, we expect China to behave peacefully. They're threatening, and that's what it is, military action over the visit of an American official. That is simply unacceptable. And we should not deal with China, frankly, on anything if they do anything more that makes Speaker Pelosi's visit problematical.
On the bottom of the screen, Pentagon, Chinese military more aggressive. This was Mark Milley, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, talking about the ratcheting up by the Chinese, harassing U.S. aircraft, harassing U.S. ships in international waters, and the like. If we back down now and won't even send a peaceful delegation to Taiwan, a longtime U.S. ally, because of threats from the Chinese, do they have any reason to ever fear us again?
No, and that's why, as I say, this starts off looking like sort of a silly dispute about travel arrangements, but I think the implications are larger. What the Chinese have followed over the past several years is what they themselves call wolf warrior diplomacy. It's acting tough and expecting others to back down. They pulled this in, I think it was March of last year, in the first meeting. It was up in Alaska between high-level Chinese and American officials, and the Americans were taken aback, kind of stunned by it. We have to distinguish between this diplomatic theater on the one hand and military reality on the other. If the Chinese are so foolish as to do anything to endanger Speaker Pelosi's visit, they should pay a price for it. And if we're not willing to defend the travel of our own officials, what are we willing to defend exactly?
Unfortunately, that question has to be asked, which is tragic and telling in and of itself. Ambassador, it's good to see you. Thank you, sir.
Glad to be with you.
Yes. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.